So the nurse was helping me, and just about as I was going to make the incision,
Yeah.
I felt a shift from my left to my right side.
Okay.
My head was going one way, and the next
Okay.
thing, both my legs buckled.
Whoa.
But the nurse was very sharp. She saw me. This is happening. I think she saw my face pulling to one side.
Yeah.
She just kicked the chair towards me. So I
Okay.
was able to slop into the chair rather
Yeah.
than falling on the ground. The
Yes.
funny part of faith is you need a calamity in order to get faith.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
If
Yes.
you
Yes.
simply say you need to have faith, you are
Yeah.
like wondering, okay, what is that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But
Once,
But
that's God's way of bringing you to Him,
yeah,
puts you through difficulties,
caregiving can also be an art and is an art. You can't. What do you have to say about that? How did you kind of your mental makeup and even physically, your mentally, how does one kind of prepare oneself for this? Because it's happening to a lot of people. Let's be honest, it's happening to a lot of people. I talk to people every day and they are kind of going through this.
Yes.
So how do we get better at handling this?
Not everybody has to have a stroke to read this. People can
Absolutely.
relate to it, whatever they are going through, whether it's Alzheimer's or cancer, because I think the pain and the struggles are the same.
Yeah.
So it's a book about a stroke survivor and the caregiver, but I think the struggle is the same in many other scenarios. So we've heard that feedback,
Hello, Booknerds. Welcome to the Booknerds Podcast. The book we are going to discuss today is called Frontiers, The Journey of Two Surgeons Through Stroke. And I spoke to the two, doctors in this conversation. And they are Dr. Siva Murugappan and Dr. Prema Samy. And they are husband and wife. And it was an interesting conversation because when a general surgeon, Dr. Siva, suffers a stroke, Dr. Prema is there to care for him, but it's easier said than done. It was easier said than done. Dr. Siva had just, ascended, Mount Kailash. He was on a high in his life. And just after 4 months, he suffers this stroke midway during a procedure. And, whatever happens after that, it's mentioned in the book. Very interesting. A story of tenacity, how both of them together, fought this uphill battle. The book cover also shows a similar sort of story. A man, pushing a boulder up a hill. A very new genre for me. I have not read much in this sphere, in the health survival sort of sphere. So it was an interesting conversation for me. A lot of learnings, how to kind of fight something like this if it happens to one. So yeah, a new and different conversation on the Book Nerds podcast. I hope you listen to it all, watch it all, and learn from it. I know we as humans avoid these conversations, but it's very important to know your body, know what we are capable of as humans, and fight this. So, watch the podcast, and if you like it or don't like it, leave a comment on YouTube. Our channel is, of course, at Book Nerds, and yeah, the book is called Frontiers and it's available on Amazon, so you can buy it as well if you like the book or you want to learn more about your body and how to survive these kind of health challenges. Hello, book nerds. Welcome to the Book Nerds podcast. Last time we on the podcast we had an author and we discussed a lot about meditation and how to enter into a state of nothingness and you know get more perspective about life in general. This time around, we have a very different podcast, but in some ways, it is quite connected to the previous podcast as well. Uh, this book. It is called Frontiers: The Journey of Two Surgeons Through Stroke, and I'm very happy that for the first time, for like 250 odd episodes of this podcast, I have two doctors at the same time on the podcast, which is an achievement for me. So thank you so much, Dr. Siva and Dr. Prema, for being here. And yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for writing Frontiers, because a lot. I know doctors are very busy. You guys have no time whatsoever. I know that. So writing this book, and I know you had external help as well. You told your story, and there was a ghostwriter involved, like I read in the book. But I mean, the story needed to come out, and I'm so happy that you kind of embarked on this, because it can be at least for me as a caregiver, former caregiver, I found it very therapeutic, because I could relate to what Dr. Prema might have gone through, or might have gone through. We'll talk about all of that, of course, but this elephant in the room, which most Indians, at least, we are talking about the Indian scenario right now. Uh, we don't talk about stroke, right? I mean, we just detest talking about disease in general. We think that the disease will come and then go automatically. We Indians are very positive that ways. We don't even take health insurance sometimes. Most of the times, actually, if you look at data, health insurance is a rarity in India. So at least it's only for the top 5%, I would say. So in a situation like this, where there is lack of education, first of all, at least in India, I'm not aware about the stats globally, but lack of awareness is there. Even doctors kind of the at the risk of kind of being castigated by many doctors when they watch this, they don't take it seriously. They never talk about this when you go to the doctors mostly. Thirdly, I talked about medical insurance, but reading your story of kind of going through this, Dr. Siva, and kind of coming out so amazingly, I'm so inspired by this story. And of course, Dr. Prema, the way you supported him, and um, kept your mindfulness as well at the same time. So yeah, so happy to read the book. It's a short read, guys, so it won't trouble you at all in terms of pages. So do read the book, and we'll go in depth in this podcast about what is stroke. First of all, many of my viewers and listeners will have no clue about this. What is stroke, first of all, and how to kind of, you know, perhaps sense it, or are there any indications? What happens?
Can we go?
Yeah.
Yeah, surely,
Why
Yeah.
surely.
don't you explain, Siva?
So, stroke is basically means death of some tissue in the body,
Okay.
and that tissue being the brain part,
Okay.
a very small, minute part of the brain. It is, you can give an example like, nowadays we have drip system for all these plants.
Yep.
How the water comes in a tube is just same. The same
Yeah.
thing is blood is going through tubes. The
Right.
blood vessel also has the inner layer of the blood vessel gets thickened over ages due to food and genetics and things like that.
Yep.
So they are called as plaques. If any
Okay.
of these plaques in the internal lining of the vessel
Yep.
gets detached,
Rupture.
and then that will travel along the blood force of the blood flow
Okay.
and go and reach one of the end vessels
Okay.
where it blocks.
Yep.
Then, due to oxygen deprivation, that tissue supplied by that particular small vessel dies.
Okay.
And
Okay.
thereby, the function done by that particular brain area is deprived,
Okay. Okay.
is
So
lost.
yeah. So is this like, and both of you can answer this. Like, what are the changes that one can kind of make over time? I mean, and what age? I have no clue. But what are those changes one can apply in one's lifestyle to perhaps prevent it, or is it like it happens? Is it like genetic, or can you kind of prevent it with lifestyle? What's the situation here? Because we want to solve this, uh, I wouldn't say problem, but one needs to kind of be aware of it.
I can start and he
Yeah.
can.
Surely, yeah, yeah.
So I think generally it starts very young. The genetic predisposition is there in, and South Asians are highly predisposed because our blood vessels overall are narrower
Okay.
than people of other races. And but if you look at your own family tree, if there is high blood pressure or diabetes in the family, that puts you in a higher risk. So and the changes in our blood vessels start as early as teens, where we are eating a lot of ghee based foods and fried foods, and now fast foods, and so over time that plaque builds up
Yeah.
in the blood vessels, and
Okay.
and uh, so that is the beginning. So
Okay.
you're predisposed, and then lifestyle comes. So
Okay.
if by 30, 35 you are beginning to have prediabetes or high blood pressure and you're already on medication, you have a window of opportunity in that, like, I think from 25 onwards, where you can prevent
Okay.
a catastrophe. And
Okay.
that's where diet, and Indians are very good at fasting. Like fasting is good,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then so controlling your blood sugars, all that will delay,
Yeah.
that you have
Yeah.
entered.
Yeah.
As she said, we
Yeah.
have very small blood vessels. That means the internal diameter of that blood vessel is much smaller compared to the other races in this world.
Okay.
So, what we can do as Indians is, in
Yeah.
order to prevent, I would say the most important thing is
Yeah.
do not smoke.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Okay.
Do not ever smoke.
And what
Because
about alcohol?
alcohol, along with smoking, it becomes an add up.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So, you might ask me, what if you don't smoke, just take alcohol alone? Alcohol fuzzes up the whole brain, man. So,
Oh,
it is not good on that sense, too.
What about
okay.
red wine? They say red wine's good for.
Red wine, they say, is good for the heart health
Yeah.
Yeah.
because of resveratrol. That's
Hmm.
Yeah.
all it's all about it. But you
Okay.
know, they say every time you get drunk, you kill a few million cells in your brain.
Damn. Okay, so that puts Indians in a very bad situation because we are consuming alcohol and smoking like there's no tomorrow right now. So yeah, I mean, I left drinking like 3 years back. Not entirely, but once in 3 months or something like that. But I know of a lot of people who are consuming more and more. So I don't know. There's a lack of awareness and education. I don't know, but in general, I think humans are like who cares? I mean, what's the point? Like let's party hard today and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. But great point that this combination of alcohol and smoke can be super deadly. So guys, pay heed to that. Okay, we have to talk about stress, and then I'll come back to my question,
Okay.
because man, Dr. Siva was doing like zillions of surgeries every day.
Yes.
Okay. And he won't stop.
Yes.
He would just go out there and be like, I would give a cricketing example here, like Virat Kohli hitting like centuries, like he's eating cake. You know, you are a workaholic, and this happened in India, by the way, as well. There was a doctor from Rajasthan, and he was kind of similar. He was crazy about his work. He was so passionate, and so many of us are about our work.
Yes.
Where to draw the line? So share that experience, please, both of you, because where do we draw that line of work-life balance? You were solving problems of so many people. You were saving people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, there is no, first of all, I want to say there is no line between
Okay.
work and life balance.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
you have taken a choice of getting into surgery, that
Yeah.
river which is called surgery will just
Mm.
take you. There's no, you can't sort of go against that current.
Yeah.
And
Is it
so
because
that's,
it's is it because it's such an important job? Because there are
yeah,
some, I know there are every job is important, but saving lives is above, a cut above, other jobs perhaps.
I wouldn't, yeah, I wouldn't say that it's important, but
Mm.
the the very essence of that job is you're going to be busy.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
I
is
get
what
the
it
point.
is. Yeah,
That is true, but I think those dynamics are changing with the current generation. They
Okay.
are more, conscious of that because they have learned. I think all of us should learn to say no when it's
Right.
become too much. Because
Right.
I recall when he was so busy, the kids
Yeah.
won't see him all week.
Yeah.
Like weekend, his work will flow into the weekend, and he's working
Yeah.
weekend too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I say, why are you working so hard? He will
Yeah.
say, I'm doing service, Prema. I'm doing service.
Yeah.
So he felt he was doing good for his patients. you
That's
know
what I figured, because once you are kind of, it's like the soldier mindset, that
yeah,
once you are in that zone, you don't feel anything.
yeah.
I'll just go out there. It's a similar kind of mindset. But Dr. Prema, you're so right. What are the changes new surgeons are bringing in, or how are they countering this? Because this can, I mean, if you burn out, then you're not there to help anyone, right? So what is your perspective on that, and how new surgeons are kind of changing that?
Well, I think it's a whole generational shift. I don't know what's happening in India, but like even our own children, they very young, like both my kids are in medicine too, and they
Okay.
are like looking at specialities in a way that, will this give me work life balance? Which
Okay.
in our generation, we only pick the specialty based on interest, no matter
Right.
how busy it
Right.
is, you know?
Right.
So the current generation, that work life balance has become more important to them than the older generation, where, my husband used to say, uh, I see myself having a heart attack in the operating room when I'm doing surgery. That's the
Right.
way he sees himself dying. So
Okay.
this is the mindset.
That's that should be on a t-shirt. Like, and it's crazy.
the, stro- the
This
stroke
is
was
passion. This is
this is
passion,
but the
right?
stroke blindsided us.
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah.
heart
I
attack.
I read about it, and what was it like about 25, 27, 30 endoscopies every day? What I read, like what's
Yes,
Yeah,
average?
somewhere there. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Somewhere there. That's a lot.
that's a
That's a
lot. Yeah,
lot. I mean, I thought that Indian doctors were working hard. You were killing it, like really, because it's a lot. I mean, I think I'll have to get this data from local doctors, but I don't think so. Anybody would be doing that here. I'm very doubtful, but I'll get the data very soon. But or someone in the comments can tell me. Any doctor who will watch this, do tell me in the comments. Are you working harder than him? Do tell in the comments. Okay. Um, so another thing, my next question, which was like, I read in the book that you plan to go to Mount Kailash and walk the entire thing, and you prepared for it, like people prepare for the marathon, and Mumbai marathon and New York marathon. You did all of that. Many people who were very professional at it, they didn't survive. They didn't got complete it. What was the entire experience like? And 4 months after this, there is another happening. Please, a bit about both episodes, so that the readers get perspective about what really happened, and it can happen to anyone.
Mhm.
yes. Let me talk about the Kailash first.
Yeah.
It just, I studied in India,
Yeah.
in Chennai. So it was like what we say, we take an oath. Okay, if I get through my exams, I'll go to.
Yeah.
But basically, that I think coming to think of it, the oath was like, hey, I want to have a trip.
Man. Yeah.
So for high altitude, the training, I mean, a lot of people do a lot of different kinds of training. I
Yeah.
just stuck myself to pranayama,
Okay.
just
Okay.
trying to increase my lung volumes,
Right.
which would help with when the oxygen level is quite low.
Right.
But coming to think of it, you circumambulate Mount Kailash,
Mm.
and certain areas are about 19,000, over 19,000 feet.
That's a
That's a
lot.
lot.
Yep.
That's a lot. And then when I was there, I did see a lot of people, I mean, pilgrims from India,
Yep.
but they were all taking these horses or ponies. You can see
Or the
them on the.
helicopter. Or the
Uh,
helicopters and things.
yeah, I did see some helicopters too.
Yeah.
And I was fascinated. Oh, you can also go like this.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
then the joy of walking
Yeah.
and, standing wherever you want and looking at the scenery.
Yeah.
So once we reached 18,800 feet,
Yeah.
just like that, suddenly out of the blue, it started snowing. And
Wow.
and within a few minutes, it's a complete whiteout. Like wherever you look, it's white. And before
Oh
that,
my.
it was all brown and rocks. And
Yeah.
then in a few minutes, it's white. It just amazing. You got to
Yeah.
be there to in order to feel it. After the
Absolutely.
end of the circumambulation, yeah, naturally we were all tired, and
Yeah.
roti was pretty good at that height with just hot water tea was
Yeah.
also very tasty.
Okay.
So why do you think you made it and not some of those experienced mountaineers?
I think it's pacing yourself while traveling,
Okay.
while circumambulating,
Yeah.
and your breathing technique.
Yeah.
Because he said if you have a lot of muscle, somebody who's
Yeah.
physically really fit,
Yeah.
that oxygen consumption will be more, right? And
Oh, okay.
at that altitude, you are,
Yeah.
low in oxygen.
You just have to take it slow.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
difficult for people to take it slow. They want to be the first to
Absolutely.
move it, and they want to do it fast. And that,
And you are kind of spiritually charged up as well. So that
yeah.
kind of maybe pushes you to go beyond what you should be doing, really. So perhaps that could be a reason. But I asked this question because when you suffered the stroke, I mean, you were in a mindset perhaps that I'm invincible, and then this happens. First of all, what happened exactly? And then what was the kind of repercussion of that? What were the reactions? And Dr. Prema can also kind of chip in, because uh, even in the book there are multiple perspectives. There are two authors, which makes the book very interesting, because I recently watched a series where there were multiple perspectives, and that makes the entire narrative very interesting, because there are two cameras kind of focusing on the same event, which makes it more sort of readable.
Mhm.
So yeah, about what happened, and what after that, how did kind of things go around?
So I still remember very vividly what happened. It was September 27th, September 2017. And I had finished a very laborious and
Difficult.
difficult no sleep call the previous night. I
Yeah.
was awake till 5 a.m. And then the next day, I had a long list of endoscopy to do. But I got through everything, and finally, the last patient endoscopy, I was struggling through it. I always tell myself, you have more in yourself, you can
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And then a call comes from the emergency department saying, hey, you were on call last night. I admitted a patient. She has got this, this, and this. Can
Right.
you see her before you go home? I said, of course. And then I was literally very tired. I wanted to get back home, basically. I went to the elevator and then I decided to push the button to go up rather than down, which I
Okay.
think is a blessing. So I
Yeah.
went up, I saw the patient. She had a huge abscess on her leg, which needed to be done as an
Okay.
emergency.
Yeah.
So since we couldn't get real OR time, operation room time, I
Yeah.
decided to do on the bedside.
Okay.
So the nurse was helping me, and just about as I was going to make the incision,
Yeah.
I felt a shift from my left to my right side.
Okay.
My head was going one way, and the next
Okay.
thing, my both my legs buckled.
Whoa.
But the nurse was very sharp. She saw me. This is happening. I think she saw my face pulling to one side.
Yeah.
She just kicked the chair towards me. So I
Okay.
was able to slop into the chair rather
Yeah.
than falling on the ground.
Yeah.
And that was it. Straight away,
That
they,
that
uh,
nurse that nurse was awesome.
yeah,
Like
very good.
yeah.
Yeah, she just kicked the chair so that I don't take a great fall.
Yeah.
But
And
they also diagnosed it and pushed him straight down to the
yeah, then
emergency
things
room.
happen just like that. Within 20 minutes, I got the blood clot diluting agent in the ER, which
Yeah.
was a good thing. That's
Yeah.
another thing people have to realize. If
Mm.
you get certain signs, you got to get yourself back and get this medicine as fast as possible.
So reaction time is really important
Yeah,
when something like this happens.
yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
So, Dr. Prema, although people who will read the book will read all this, but just a gist of where you were and what happened exactly when this was happening with Dr. Siva.
It was a Wednesday, so I usually Wednesday afternoons I'm in my office, finishing up my paperwork after doing my clinic, and it was only me and my secretary there. The other secretaries had left, so
Okay.
uh, and the doctor who called me from the emergency room happens to be my family doctor too. So she said, "Hey Prema, where are you?" I said, "I'm in the office." Say,
Yeah.
"Hey, we have Siva here. He had a
Mm.
stroke,"
Mm.
and it just, how do you describe that shock, right? Like, and I just ran to my secretary's room and I started crying and I said, "I'm going to the hospital." So after that, it was like you're in a dream, It's like, is this
Yeah.
really happening? You're just going through the motions. You go there, you see your husband who you saw in the morning,
Yeah.
and yeah, then it's like you're in a like a dream, in a daze, and that's all I did for the next 9 weeks. Just every
Yeah.
day, do what I have to do. Yeah.
But tell me something. I, I know. I mean, talking about all this because I m- my mom and dad have passed away, and I was there to kind of when they were suffering from all these things, and you are so right that it's a blur. I mean, I don't really want to go back to it. I see that you are getting emotional because only people who have gone through it will realize what really happens and how hard it is emotionally to come out of it uh, in the following years. It The outcome could be positive or negative. I'm
Oh,
so
yeah.
happy that Dr. Seva could come out of it with your help, of course. But even with, in my case, there was a negative outcome, but I feel that I learned a lot from all of that. That how to kind of caregiving can also be an art and is an art. You can't. What do you have to say about that? How did you kind of uh, your mental makeup and even physically, your mentally, how does one kind of prepare oneself for this? Because it's happening to a lot of people. Let's be honest, it's happening to a lot of people. I talk to people every day and they are kind of going through this. So
Yes.
how do we get better at handling this? Although it's easier said than done, to be honest.
Well,
I believe that I haven't gone, sorry, I haven't
no.
gone perhaps recovered from it even now.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
that traumatic for people. So yeah, please go on, please.
Well, long before this happened, I always was fascinated by self help, motivational books, inspirational books,
Okay.
how you think about things,
Yeah.
like you have to have that positive mindset, I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't realize all that education for myself would come
Yeah.
in handy one day. I didn't prepare for anything, but it came in handy
Yeah.
because I have multiple roles, right? I'm
Right.
the wife of somebody who has this, but I also have my own career, and it's
Yeah.
very busy too. I'm a mother,
Yeah.
and we have like an office to manage, the house
Yeah.
to manage. It's a lot of things,
Did you
and
continue to work during
yeah,
this?
in fact,
Okay.
the day he had the stroke, and then he landed in ICU after they gave him the streptokinase, the
Yeah.
next day is my operating day, and so in the morning I was beside him, and then I went home, and so exhausted I just slept, and suddenly at 4:30 in the morning I woke up, and I went to the washroom, and I just started shaking, just shaking, and then I just jumped into the shower, and I changed into my scrubs and went first, because by 6 I was in the hospital. I was went to ICU, and then I walked to the operating room ready to do my day. And
Yeah.
my colleagues, anesthesiologists, they said, Dr. Sammy, you can't work. We heard what happened. We
Yeah.
will give up your day, because it's a lot. We do a lot to bring patients in. They were prepared to forego that because they felt that I'm going through a you know
Yeah.
crazy time. So I was like, my work is my work.
Yeah.
I will be there for Siva, you know
Right.
but I our children were there too, and
Yeah.
we had a dog, and uh, so I think for any caregiver out there, I would
Yeah.
say, don't overthink too far ahead, or say, why is this happening, why is this happening, it's that's what we tend to do.
I
Just
think
focus.
the first question is that why is this happening to me, right? This is the
Yes.
first question.
Yeah. But
No. When my father passed away, I was like, okay, I'm going to this was 2019, and I was like, okay, it's 22 now, 2022, 2023, and my mom started suffering from something in 2023, and I was like, again, no, this can't be happening to me. It can't. And
Mhm.
I was just getting over my father's, demise, and I was like, and with cancer as well. I mean, we are talking about stroke, but you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of, it's a very tough journey as well. So it really, affects you. And in 2023, again, I'm asking this question to myself: why is this happening to me? You go in a negative zone. It's
That's where
yeah,
spirituality is helpful, you know like when
wonderful.
you have that mindset, like, instead of why negative, you say, this too I will get through.
Yeah, yeah,
God is there.
yeah,
He has a plan. you
yeah,
know it's how you look at things. The perspective is so
yeah,
important. Yeah.
yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to ask you about a recent experience that the book has had. It was at a major fair, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's called the Frankfurter. And, how was the experience like? How did the book kind of reach there? And what are some of the reactions that are coming in from people who picked it up, or, read it? Perhaps family, friends, any reviewers. What are the feedback? What is the feedback? And any negative feedback, if any? I don't know.
So these things are pitched to me by the publisher who
Okay.
wants to promote the book, and
Okay.
I just go along with them, and they do everything right.
Okay.
So I think, I mean, this is a self-published book, so what he told me, the agent from the publisher, is that there were a lot of interested parties, but these are traditional publishing houses looking at, buying a good story, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But I mean, there wasn't any like crazy offers that they wanted to jump on,
Yeah.
but there was interest, they look at, I mean, book selling your book and getting all that is like I've realized how many books come out
Ah,
every day and every
Absolutely,
week. So
absolutely.
your book is like a dot in a sea of books. So
Surely.
and promoting books and all that, especially as a self-published author, it's hard, but like our intention was uh, to bring some hope and inspiration to people, and like you said, I've heard from people locally who have read the book, family and friends. Not everybody has to have a stroke to read this. People can
Absolutely.
relate to it, whatever they are going through,
Yeah.
whether it's Alzheimer's or cancer, because I think the pain and the struggles are the same.
Yeah.
So it's yes, it's a book about a stroke survivor and the caregiver, but I think the struggle is the same in many other scenarios. So we've heard that feedback,
And in fact, it, even if it is not a disease or a medical condition, I think even if you want to get inspired in life, how to kind of overcome certain situations, there is enough. The self-help aspect of the
Yeah.
book is quite good,
Mm.
because if you can overcome this, you know you can overcome anything in life. I think so. It's my personal opinion, but yeah. Okay. One more thing that I read in the book, and which was like very interesting for me, that when you come out of a stroke or a medical condition like that, the recovery part, you need a lot of support. And you tried a lot of things, you had support, because at least in India, we are just dependent on family members to support us, mostly, at least. Maybe a nurse here or there or something like that. But we don't really invest in the mental side of things. We don't really invest in how to kind of. I'm sure that medically you can come out of it quicker, but the mental side of things takes a lot of time. So this ecosystem that you in some ways built, do you have any pointers about that or observations, and why? How did you do that?
it's a great question. You know, I'm completely of the different view that in India we
Yeah,
have a lot of family members. That is
absolutely.
the biggest gift, I would say,
Oh,
for
great, awesome.
for
Yeah.
both mental and physical. You can
Okay.
have all these machines and all these people coming and telling you all these things,
Yeah.
but it is nothing like having a loved one or your dear family by the side of you and helping you even just to get out of the bed. You know,
Right.
that
Right.
boosts your,
Yeah.
that inspires you. Okay, I've got
Wow.
somebody.
Yeah. That's Yeah, I asked the question because I thought that this could be a negative. Maybe your family member doesn't support you, but usually people do, and it's yeah, that's very interesting. What's your comment on that?
Yeah,
Um,
we are in Canada, so we
okay,
didn't have that. It was just
yeah,
me
yeah,
and my children.
Your mother came down.
Yeah, his
yeah,
mother flew in,
yeah,
but she was in her 80s. But her
right,
being there was important for
yeah,
Siva's mental health. But you need that family support, that is
right,
very critical.
right,
uh, but in the community, what you have is also important, but most important is what is in the survivor's head or in the caregiver's head, because mentally, because I know I did a lot to support Siva, but he was easy to support. He was very motivated. That motivation of I'm not giving up. I am
yeah,
going back to surgery.
Yeah.
That I can't give him that. It has to come from him.
The phrase that came up again and again in the book was patience, patience, and patience, which is
Yes.
very. I was reading it and I was like, man, it's so tough because I get something like a a dengue or something, dengue or dengue, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
I give up on the world. I give up immediately. I give up. Like I'm dying, man. I'm dying. That's it. It's so tough to motivate yourself. I would love to get into the mind of someone who's chatting to himself in his mind, doing many things, recuperation, recovery, and then being patient. Like Dr. Prema said, that you were very easy to kind of, take care of. I am a nightmare. I don't wish even my enemies to take care of me. I can be very dangerous. So please
But
tell me how.
dengue is a viral infection. It'll make you feel like you're gonna die.
Yes, yes, yes.
But a
And,
stroke,
and, and a person like me, I can easily feel like I'm going to die. I'm like that. I got a COVID, and I just went in 2021 in the second sort of wave, and I went to the hospital, a big chain, and I saw one dead body going inside the hospital, and I was like, dude, this is the end of me. This is me 5 minutes after. So I'm that kind of person, and many people are scared, right? It's
Yeah.
not only me, I know. So do take me through what was happening in your head, because that's very important. People don't talk about it. People are shit scared. I'm so sorry to use the four-letter word, but people are scared of diseases. They don't even go to the doctors. Sir,
Yeah.
you must have encountered such people.
Oh, yeah. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
People go to the sort of limit of everything when they are going to suffer like anything. Then they will go to the doctors. How did you kind of did your education in medicine help you? Are you such a person, a positive person? What was it?
I don't know about those things which you said, but the only
Okay.
thing I I depended on was like when your mind and your body you want to give up. I just had this faith. You got to have faith in God, one of the gods.
Okay. Okay.
So they are there behind you. That is so very important.
Man,
I
I
think
need
we
to.
all go to temples and things like that.
Yep. Yep.
What I think must be really stressed upon is having faith.
Right.
Believe in something that is going to make you better,
Right.
or going to inspire you, or going to make you do that thing.
Yeah.
You need to have that belief system.
Yeah. This episode could be life changing for me, because I'm learning so much. I don't know about the community, but guys, if you read the book, you'll understand what I mean. Whenever sort of there are millions of times when you are kind of down and out,
Yeah,
just read the book. If Dr. Siva can do it, you can do it as well. Having faith.
exactly.
yes.
Yes, having faith. um a very
And
good
sometimes in the greater picture,
yeah.
you believe in spirituality, the universe, God, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
It's you go through these difficult times in your life
Right.
to lean on to faith and
Right. Right.
spirituality. And I reached out to that too, you know. I leaned
Did you
on.
guys come out like? Did you come out? Did you guys come out as different people after all this, or like what happened? What was the reset? What was the reset? Was there any reset? What was the difference in attitude? Maybe something.
Or we came out stronger thinking that, not thinking, feeling that we have each other no matter what
Oh,
happens.
okay.
The
Okay.
bond was much better.
But because Dr. Prema has mentioned 2 3 times in the book, that I was like, okay, this is the end of the marriage, and I was, it's in the book, so I'm asking this question
Oh yeah.
because she said that she was at the precipice of this thinking like that, and then kind of coming back to all of this. I'm
Maybe it
sure.
was more in my head because he was caught up in his own world, right? Like he's
Okay.
caught up in the world of getting better, getting back to
Yeah.
surgery. But
Right.
he was also talking about moving back to India where he grew
Yeah.
up, you know? And
Yeah.
so where does that leave me? So those kind of stresses
Yeah.
were threatening. And
Yeah.
those were my thoughts. Is this the
Got
end? You
it.
know?
Yeah. I-
So I don't think he was thinking like that. It was more me because,
Right.
but that I don't think that's unrealistic because it has happened in marriages when people go through.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. 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 It
yeah.
happens.
But if both are thinking like that, then it's a bad thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm I'm so happy that you guys have uh, defeated this adversity that came your way, and you did so much together. I absolutely believe that this book can be inspirational for many people, whether you go through something medical or not. One should read the book. Get more tenacity. Get more tenacity. Get have more faith, and be better prepared for something like this, because it's good to party hard. I'm saying it's good to party hard. Everybody should, but we should always be aware that the next turn could be slightly, not according to our plan. And guys, please get health insurance, especially in India. That's something which is like, yeah,
I just want to say one last thing, which
yeah,
I wanted to say actually.
yeah,
When you are down and out, you start planning, okay, if I do this, okay, this will come,
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Your
yeah,
mind is always trying to plan, 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 plan.
right.
But in my experience, what I went through,
Mm.
if I go through stroke again, I will
Mm.
never plan. I
Okay.
let things go
Okay.
because it
One
doesn't
last
happen the
question.
way you plan, and the frustration hits you even worse.
Yeah. One last question that I had was that when you wanted to get back to surgery, you must have had to kind of retrain yourself and prove it to other people that you can, because these licenses work
yes.
in strange manners. There must be a lot of procedure, and perhaps they must have said no as well at certain stage. What exactly happened? And then we'll conclude the podcast. This is very important, I feel.
No at every stage. It's not
Every stage.
no. No at one. No at
Okay.
every stage. You
Okay.
try to jump from one hoop to the other hoop, and there's
Yeah.
another bigger no waiting for you.
Yeah. So
So,
there is no SOP for people to get back into, as a surgeon,
there are things for people to get back into their own work thing. But
right?
here we are in a field where we are dealing with sick people. So if I was an IT engineer or a teacher or something like that,
Mm.
bang, man, I would have been there. But
Yeah,
this one is wrought with, if some, and you're also in surgery. It is a field where things can always go wrong.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
So what the CEOs and the managers are thinking is, okay, if we let him through, what, as a normal thing, also things can go wrong,
yeah,
and people will sue them. How come you allowed this guy who had a stroke to do this?
yeah, yeah.
So I think
Oh
that is the
yes.
basic tenet there.
That you can be the scapegoat. Like if something goes wrong, and then
Um,
they'll say that he was not in the right condition, right?
yeah,
That's why the
Okay.
stroke determines everything. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you can have problems, you
Yeah.
readjust during surgery. I'm a surgeon too. But
Yeah.
if he does it, oh, it's because of his,
Oh yes. Yes.
you know. So
Yes.
it's you're under a microscope, and
Yeah.
nobody looks good under a microscope.
that's
So
why
Absolutely.
the picture of the front cover is
Yeah.
like, I'm
Yes.
taking this stone uphill every day.
yeah,
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When I saw the cover, I was like, I know what I'm getting into. Let's let's do it, because yeah, great cover, by the way. It's inspiring, and yeah, that's what life is, I suppose. And uh, I didn't want to ask this, but when are you going to Mount Kailash again?
When my wife agrees to go. Now
Together,
everything after the
together.
stroke, everything is like whatever the wife says goes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. uh, love talking to you guys, and I'm so happy that you are an inspiration for so many of us who have gone through, uh, in some way or the other, have gone
Yeah,
through all of this. I'm taking back a lot from this podcast, that one needs to have more faith, which I
yeah,
have. I told you about me, so you must have realized that how much
yeah.
faith I have in anything. But I think so. Spirituality helps you. Whatever you have mentioned, it kind of makes me think deeper about this
But
and
the
go
funny,
back. Yeah.
can I say something? The
Yes.
funny part of faith is you need a calamity in order to get faith.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
If
Yes.
you
Yes.
simply say you need to have faith, you are
Yeah.
like wondering, okay, what is that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But
Once,
But
that's God's way of bringing you to Him,
yeah,
puts you through difficulties, you know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't be overconfident of yourself in any situation. Just be
exactly.
humble, kind of have more faith. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, doctors. It has been
Thank you
a
for inviting us.
great pleasure talking to you. And yeah, this is a feather in my cap. Two doctors on the same screen. It's a feather for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank
Rohan.
you, and you're welcome,
And
Rohan.
yes, a bit about the books. Where are they available and where people can buy them? A
It
bit
is
about
um it's available in Amazon.com because
that.
the
Okay.
publisher is American, but
Yeah.
it's also available in Amazon India now. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Great. And any bookstores or just Amazon?
I don't know. Yeah, through Ingram distribution, it goes to Amazon India. India is a new market we approached,
Okay.
and yeah, so for now it's there. I hope it gets to other distribution channels, which is all
Perfect.
very complicated. I just want the book to reach everyone, but you go through all these commercial things. It's hard. Yeah.
Recently, we went to Australia.
Mhm.
Okay.
We, we took a bunch of books with us,
Right.
and we
Just
in Australia we went to a few hospitals
I just
And
donated.
and
Yeah.
just donated to the rehab center there,
yeah,
just to inspire some people around there.
Yeah.
that's
But
great. That's great. But the doctors should be buying those books. This book. It's they should. I mean, it's a no-brainer. The
One
hospitals
day
should be
it
buying.
it's just a less than 2 hour read.
Yeah, but it
I
will
think even
slowly.
lesser. Even
Less than,
lesser for a mature reader. I think so. 1 hour is enough.
yeah.
But it's not only about reading it. I believe it's about imbibing and kind of practicing a bit of what you have learned. It's not about just reading it. This book, especially, it may be like 100 odd pages for a traditional book format, but it's deeper than that. So I'm happy after reading it. So that it made me think about life. So that's my takeaway.
So our
Thank you so
goal
much.
was reached.
We
Our
have
goal.
achieved through you,
Thank you so
Rogan.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.